Over the last several years, there have been a ton of decluttering trends that have become really popular. I've covered a lot of them on this channel. However, today I'm going to share the 5 trends that I think you should ditch for 2025 if you want a clean and clutter-free home. And don't worry, I'm going to give you better solutions and things that I think do work. And these are things that you can do so that you can have the clean and clutter-free home that you deserve. The first trend that I'm going to tell you to ditch, and I ditched this a little while ago myself, it's decluttering by category. I personally find it really hard to pick a category and then have to go all throughout my home to find that particular category. Even if you live in an apartment, I think this could be challenging. So just as an example, if I'm gonna be decluttering shoes, well, I've got shoes in a little cabinet at my front door. I have shoes in the coat closet downstairs, and I have shoes in my upstairs closet. Probably not ideal to have shoes all over the house, right? But this is real life over here, and that's what we've got going on. So I would have to go to all of these areas to declutter by category if that were the case. And I just know myself, and I know that if I decluttered the shoes in my closet, I'm not going to feel motivated to then go downstairs and start decluttering. I'm going to be done with decluttering for the day. I find it much, much easier to pick a room and just declutter. Just start from the room that you want to declutter, and it doesn't matter what category you're just doing an area. So just think, for example, if you want to declutter your kitchen counter and you want to declutter it no matter what categories are sitting on your counter. I mean, you could have purses on your counter, you could have paper clutter. I mean, maybe you have small appliances, but maybe you've got kids and you've got toys on your counter. Who knows? I personally find decluttering by category is just too limiting for me, and then I get demotivated. Okay, so this next trend is something that everybody tells you to do, and my solution to it is probably gonna be a little bit controversial. Hear me out though. What the trend is declutter everything from your home and then get it out of your home as soon as possible. Just put it away in a box and then get it out of the house. Do not leave it sitting around because you don't want to have second thoughts. You don't want to have people go through the box and pull things out. And I get that. I understand why they say to do this. I'm saying you should ditch this trend. I recently saw a video where this woman put this out online, and she said that when she declutters, she simply puts everything in the garbage can. And her video was actually really sad. If I can find it, I will go ahead and post it up here. But she was putting things in the garbage that completely could have been useful to someone else. It was actually very shocking and super wasteful. And I'm not saying this to shame her. I'm just saying how far people have taken this idea to get the things out of your home as quickly as possible. If you have items that you're decluttering, it is my opinion that you need to declutter them in a responsible and sustainable way. You cannot just throw them away. Unless, of course, they're meant for the trash and they truly are garbage. There is a growing interest in sustainable, kind of eco-friendly decluttering, which I'm very happy to see. But you have to think about it. This stuff, once it leaves our home, where is it going? What's happening to it? Is it sitting in a landfill for years? Are you just gonna rebuy some of these items? You really need to think about these things when you're decluttering. I like to use donation centers, thrift stores. I also use Trash Nothing and Buy Nothing. I've talked about those before. I will link them. Those are just local groups where people come and pick stuff up off your porch that you're giving away. You'd be surprised at the things that people will pick up. One time, probably about 10 years ago, my dog, when we had a dog, he had fleas. And I had tried all of these things and nothing worked. And I finally got this really good recommendation on a flea spray for our home to get rid of the fleas. I mean, if you have ever had fleas in your home and you know the hell that is fleas, I am very sorry. I feel your pain. It is awful. So anyway, I had about 2.5 containers of this spray left over, and it was great spray, but I didn't have a dog anymore and I didn't want to throw it away. I put it on Trash Nothing. Within 10 minutes, someone from my neighborhood had come, said he wanted it, he picked it up, done. Decluttering is great. It has a lot of benefits, but I'm just saying we should not pass our problems on to someone else. And we really need to think about how our items can leave our home in the best possible way. If you enjoy content like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button down below. It's free. The third trend that I think you should ditch before 2025 if you want to have a clean and tidy home is massive decluttering projects or large-scale decluttering projects. I've done these. I know how appealing it is to say, I'm going to do XYZ and declutter all of this in a day. It's very appealing. I don't find it realistic. Who has the time and the energy, honestly, to do this and the stamina? No one. I think that this trend should be ditched. And maybe it's just me, but I've come to realize that short decluttering bursts are 100% the way to go. I recently did a basement declutter and I actually worked in little bursts for about 7 to 10 days and I got the basement into a pretty good state. I have a little bit more to go. That's fine. But I felt really good about those decluttering bursts. I was making a video. If I wasn't making a video about it, I may have actually taken longer because you want to do this slowly. You want to do this in a sustainable way for yourself. What I think is doing decluttering bursts can really give you the motivation to continue because you see progress over time and you keep on doing it and you just commit to it. I'm very happy to ditch this next trend because as pretty and beautiful as it looks, I do not think it's functional. And the trend that I'm recommending that you ditch is having super pretty organization systems. You know the ones I'm talking about. I think that people have realized that these are just not functional, right? Like they're very satisfying to watch on a video. You see someone doing a restocking, you see a pantry organization, you see whatever, and they have these beautiful bins, these very expensive baskets, and that all looks wonderful. It does not work in real life. Ask me how I know this. I tried to do one nice shelf in my pantry. It does not look nice. It will never look nice. I have given up. Instead, I am organizing for function. It does not have to be beautiful. It can just be functional, and I'm okay with that. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't use baskets or anything like that. You can absolutely do that. I have a laundry room, and actually the laundry room is the one place where I can keep it looking nice. And really, I think the only reason why is because we don't frequently use the items in there. You know, we've got our storage areas, and we've got our nice bins, but we're only going in there maybe once every 10 days. So whatever organization system you have, just make sure it's functional for your life. If you live alone and you can maintain it, perfect. If you've got 3 kids like I do, nothing gets maintained, right? So you just have to think about what works for you and where you are at the moment. Marie Kondo has an amazing decluttering method. I've done a few videos on her. I think that she just really brought decluttering to the forefront and really taught a lot of people how to do it. She's got the KonMari system. So one thing that I think has become a trend in the KonMari system, and you hear this all the time now, is the sparking joy concept. When you hear this, and it's become very mainstream now, you just think to yourself, okay, does it spark joy? That's a way to make a decision on your stuff. For me, too much of my stuff sparks joy. I mean, that's what got me into the problem in the first place. You know, I'm going into a store and see this beautiful sweater. That is sparking joy, and it continues to spark joy. So I think the lens of sparking joy is a good one, but what I'm saying to ditch is that it cannot be your only lens when you're looking at your stuff. It just won't really help you make enough progress in your decluttering items. And honestly, for me, when I have sentimental items and I see them, yes, they all spark joy. I mean, maybe I'm a weirdo. I don't know why so much of my stuff sparks joy to me. Maybe I put too much value on my possessions. But what I'm going to say here is I think the joy thing has been overblown. I think people have seen it and now they use it as a shortcut and they're missing the deeper point of KonMari. Because if you dig deeper into KonMari's system, what you will understand about the joy is that it's not just, does it spark joy? You need to separate it from, did this spark joy in my past? And does this currently spark joy in my life? And people miss this. And instead, they just focus on the quick joy thing. So my recommendation here is just ditch only doing KonMari halfway. You need to do it fully for it to work. And just one more thing that's been very helpful to me in KonMari, and I'm going to share it because maybe it will be helpful to you. Once I look at things through this lens of is it sparking joy in my current life, then and I decide to get rid of it, I thank the item. This has been a really important step for me, and it just makes me feel a little bit better when I say, okay, thank you for serving me, and then I can do something with it. It just alleviates maybe a little bit of guilt somehow, and I feel bad for my possessions. Does anyone else feel this way? Okay guys, well those are my 5 decluttering trends to ditch before 2025 if you are looking into decluttering your home and having a nicer, cleaner, tidier space. If you want to keep on watching, I've got lots more decluttering content. So I'm going to link a playlist. Click on it. I'll see you over there. Bye-bye.